Well, John, Joe Morrell and Terry Devlin missed out on Saturday. Tom McIntyre also looked to be injured when he went off. What's the latest on them three?
Yeah, not great news on all three of them, to be honest. So if you take them one by one, Joe Morrell, unfortunately there was a sort of small piece of cartilage that chipped off his knee, so he's in for surgery today. That's going to be him for the rest of the season. I think the positive on Joe is that we did fear after he did it that it could be ligament damage or meniscus damage, which would have seen him out for a lot more or a lot longer. So Joe, unfortunately, yeah, he's going to miss the rest of the season. He's had surgery today. We don't know how it's gone yet, but hopefully it's gone well. But yeah, Joe will be back in time for pre-season next year, so it's nothing longer term where you're looking at one of those ACLs that's sort of 9 months. I think it's a real blow. So yeah, not great news, but also a bit of a blow there with how innocuous it was. Yeah, similar news with Terry. Unfortunately, the shoulder injury is a lot worse than we originally feared, and so Terry is also set for surgery. Obviously, just landing funny on it at the Oxford game, and he's going to be out for sort of 3+ months. So that really is going to see him right through to the end of the season as well. And then yeah, really sort of a blow yesterday with the news that came back from Tom's scan was that there was a fracture on the ankle, and yeah, we're looking at sort of 12 to 14 weeks on that. That probably takes us towards the end of the season. So yeah, tough one I think to take, particularly with the fact that we'd only just signed Tom, and the fact that he'd gone into a challenge honestly, and obviously caught himself at some point during that challenge and came off injured, and yeah, we had the bad news yesterday.
Where do you even begin to sort of sum up our luck with injuries this season?
I think it's just that really. We always look at every injury and take stock of where we could have done things differently. I think the ones that really sort of spring to mind in terms of the training and what we're doing with the player load, I suppose, are the muscular injuries. So we always look at those and think, well, is there anything we could have done differently? When you've got 3 injuries like that, that probably sums up where we are this season. In terms of injuries, we've had Joe Morrell with nobody near him, Terry Devlin going into a challenge and falling awkwardly on his shoulder, and then Tom just injuring his foot in an honest tackle. So yeah, really, really tough ones to take. I think those 3 are just down to bad luck. I can't think of anything else. There's nothing else we would have done in terms of training, in terms of player load. We want our players to be aggressive. We want them to go into challenges, and I think actually when they go into challenges properly, you end up most of the time protecting yourself. Unfortunately, in Tom's instance, he's ended up getting hurt.
Like you say, it's not muscular injury, so it's bad luck is what it is. How much motivation does that give you and the rest of the lads now to go and achieve something for them?
I don't think it changes anything in terms of our motivation. We're highly motivated to try and achieve something this season, and it's just one of those things that we've got to deal with and get on with. It's not ideal. We've obviously built the squad for a reason, and I think we strengthened in January for a reason as well. It's really unfortunate that we're not going to be able to see more of those 3 players, in particular Tom, because we've hardly seen any of him. I saw 54 minutes of him so far in a Portsmouth shirt, and I think everybody was really pleased with what they saw. So that's the hardest thing to take, but yeah, we've got to get on with it and keep going.
Saturday's 4-1 victory over Northampton. What can you take from it? What's there to improve on?
Well, I thought that we were excellent in the first half. We came out with a lot of purpose. We got the 2-goal lead that we deserved, and then we probably could have scored a couple of more, and obviously missed the penalty going into half time. So I thought it was a really, really excellent, energetic performance, much better, much more what we're like at home at Fratton as well. And I think the pleasing thing was that it came off the back of a pretty tough week for us in terms of the travel. We'd been away to Port Vale, we were away to Oxford. I think the only side that played on Tuesday night, and we came into the game on Saturday looking really fresh. So the energy that we brought and some of the quality in terms of the football was really, really good. I think plenty to improve upon, particularly as the second half wore on. Even though we were down to 10 men, I thought there was a lot we could have done a lot better. I know we ended up scoring 2 goals with 10 men, and maybe it's been a bit harsh, but I think the lads in particular were just a bit annoyed that they conceded the goal as well. So yeah, plenty to work upon going into the game Saturday.
The reaction when going down to 10 men, the red card, which has been overturned, is probably worth saying as well. How pleasing is that? You didn't sort of go under, you really attacked them, scored 2 more goals, and how big is that to sort of take during the rest of the season?
I thought it was a big game for us because of what had happened at home to Orient, where we really had underperformed, and the whole afternoon hadn't panned out as we wanted it to, coming off the back of a decent game at home against Stevenage. So we needed to put that to bed, and I thought when we had the adversity of missing the penalty and the adversity of taking the red card at 2-0, when the game is still very much in the balance, I think to respond as we did and get the 3rd and then the 4th was was excellent from the boys. Their application, their willingness not to let those difficult moments get on top of any of the things that they were trying to do. So really, really pleased for everything.
Like we said on Saturday, Fratton Park was absolutely buzzing. What's it been like around here in and amongst the lads?
Yeah, I think there's been a mixture of I think excitement in terms of where we are with 15 games to go this season, and also knowledge that there's still a huge, a long way to go. We've still got 3 months worth of football. We've still got those 15 games. We're taking absolutely nothing for granted, and we have to make sure that we're on it every single week and every single day. So training again's been tough this week. It's been intense. We're making sure that we prepare properly for the game of the weekend, and we need to do that from now till the rest of the season.
What sort of game are you expecting against Carlisle?
Well, I think that Carlisle, in terms of their league position, probably not where they'd like to be, but certainly a side that you've got to make sure that we go there and we take, as we do with every game, and we don't underestimate them. I think they're a side that went away to Bolton and won 3-1. They gave us a really, really tough game at Fratton Park. For anyone that will remember, a pretty narrow 1-0 victory. Late on, we scored from a set piece in the second half that Carlisle probably felt they edged. So we know they're a good side. There's definite threats that they've got there, and the fact that they're in the league position that they're in, I think tells us very, very little, because sides down there are fighting for their lives. What we've seen in the past few weeks anyway, we've seen how Reading have picked up their form since we beat Fleetwood. They've picked up a couple of good results, including a really, really good result last night away at Bristol Rovers. So there's no easy games at this level, and I keep saying that week in, week out, and I think we're always proved right, because I just can't think of any games that we go to and really sometimes the scoreline ends up being pretty comfortable, but it's because there's a lot of hard work and a couple of things have gone for us that way. So we expect a tough game this weekend.
I know things won't change for you sort of game in game. The way end's going to be sold out. How much determination does that give you to put on a performance for those Pompey fans that are going to be making the absolute trek up to Cumbria?
It was really important for us, I think, after the Orient game. I know we referenced it quite a bit, but there was probably a fair bit of trepidation going up to Fleetwood, considering the fact that we haven't been in the best form, and we know how long the journey is up there. So it was an added bonus. It's always an added bonus. We want to win games for the sake of it, but it was a real added bonus at Fleetwood at Port Vale to send the fans home with 3 points. Obviously, Tuesday night at Oxford, it was a bit of a shorter trip. Didn't mean we wanted to win it any less, but yeah, I think it means a bit more to everyone at the football club that we know how well backed we are. We know how long it's going to take to get up there, because we're doing the same thing on Friday, and what it takes out of all of the fans. So yeah, I think it's an added bonus for us if we can go there and put on a good performance.
Just finally, what does preparation look like for Friday? And obviously you've got such a long trip. How important is it to get that all correct and that it all goes swimmingly?
Yeah, I mean, we've been working hard at the front end of this week deliberately. We wanted to get all of our work done, and pretty much now we're tapering off, and we're much lighter in terms of the session that we're going to see on Friday. We haven't got a huge amount of time either, because we've got to get on the road, and what we want to do is make sure that from now until the game everything's focused on preparation and recovery. So all of the physical work's done, and we have got to really make sure that the lads are properly recovered from the game Saturday, properly recovered from the training sessions, and they get themselves on the road and fit and ready to go.